Powerful comments come from our Assemblywoman as she gave her life movement. And if you were to describe her story, you will find a difficult moment to say which immigrant community you were describing. Because if you look under the fingernail of every immigrant community in this country, you'll see the dirt and grime of climbing up the mountain one hand at a time to participate in the American dream. And that is the reality. And that is who is on this step and stands behind me. I am not a new friend. I am an old friend. And no matter how we make an attempt to rewrite the relationship I have with the immigrant community, they are going to stand up and say, write the real story. This has been a mayor, a senator, a borough president, a police officer that has stood by us for generations. And we are faced with a humanitarian crisis that was created by man's hands. It will undermine not only our city, but it will undermine our country. And if we do not effectively respond to this crisis at the level that it deserves, we're going to take the pursuit of the American dream and turn it into a nightmare for those who want to participate in the greatness of this country. That is why we have spent the last few months of giving out a clarion call that the migrants deserve better. Not only the migrants who are coming from Venezuela, from Haiti, from other countries, but even our brothers and sisters who have come from the continent of Africa that have been living outside of mosques and having to survive with inhumane treatment every day. This is a national problem and it needs a national response. And we are not going to sit back and deny that. I cannot thank the local NGOs, the houses of worship, everyday New Yorkers who have stood up and stepped up and responded to this crisis. And I join Assemblywoman Rajkumar in thanking those elected officials who signed on to a letter today and uniformly stated it is time for us to join the call that this mayor has been saying for months. I call all on us to look towards our national leaders to come with real, comprehensive immigration reform. That's the answer to this problem. But there's a blazing fire that's taking place right now. You cannot go to a house that is burning and say the result is about teaching fire prevention. You need to put out the fire right now. So with the fire prevention plan, we got to address the fire right now. The 6 points we laid out are clear and simple. One person must be dedicated to coordinate the entire process, including a real, comprehensive decompression strategy so this national problem could be absorbed by the entire country. This is not a New York City, Chicago, El Paso, Washington, Houston issue. This is a national issue, and it should be treated as such. That is the purpose of coming together. We know this task before us. We're going to fulfill our moral, legal obligations. We're going to partner with the different groups in different walks of life. The faces of the people here are real New Yorkers coming from different walks of life. This region, New York State, receives the largest number of immigrants and migrants throughout the entire country. We were there when the Ukrainian war took place to allocate resources for those who seek refuge here. We were there during the Haitian crisis to be there, and even during the hurricane, going to Haiti to be there with the people. We are constantly there. That's who we are as New Yorkers. And when we go to our national government and say we need help, that is not turning away our brothers and sisters, human beings. That is saying that we must stand up to who we say we are as a country. There is a reason that the Statue of Liberty sits in our harbor, because we say welcome those who come here, but we deserve their support from our national government in the process. This is a leadership moment for all of us. Not only a leadership moment for those who are elected, it's a leadership moment for those who are running nonprofits. It's a leadership moment for those who are CEOs of corporations. It's a leadership moment for those who live on a block where there's a shelter. Are you going into that shelter and helping? This is a leadership moment for those who see their brothers and sisters who are migrant, who don't have a coat or a jacket or a pair of socks, to see, are you going to do the same for them? This is a leadership moment for all of us. This is a human moment. It's a leadership moment if you're a pastor, a rabbi, imam, if you're a Sikh leader. It's time for us to step up to this moment. I'm willing to do so. And the people who are here are willing to do so. And they have done that. It doesn't matter if it's my spear from the Hasidic community who have provided thousands of foods. Doesn't matter if it's some of our houses of worship who have produced thousands of articles of clothing. The volunteers who are at our HERCs, who are helping with health care, the principals who have opened their schools to almost 11,000 children. We're seeing the best of our city because we all are immigrants. Doesn't matter if it was the Mayflower or if it was the Greyhound or if it was in the belly of a slave ship. We came from somewhere, and we all identify with those who are pursuing the American dream. And every time that dream is shattered, as it was earlier today, with 10 members of our AAPI community and another number were injured during hatred, violence, we rise up and say there's no place here. I'm proud of this moment for those who are standing with us today and what we have done as New Yorkers. I know it's challenging. I know it's difficult for us. But this is the moment that's going to judge us in history. And as we've always done, we're going to reach the moment that's expected of us. I want to thank our congressional delegation, Senator Schumer, and the entire New York delegation for seeking $8 million from FEMA. And the over $800 million we were able to secure in the bill that is going to see some of the additional funding. But there's more that's needed. There's much more that's needed. And we're going to continue to press forward to make sure we accomplish that. But together, we will achieve this. This is a full, all hands on deck moment. Government, private, our religious institutions, every citizen must be part of this opportunity. And so I want to end by stating, all you who are here from different walks of life, thank you for what you have done. My council generals, my religious leaders, my nonprofits, my immigrant coalitions, or my everyday New Yorkers who stated they want to be a part of this moment so history can be kind to us all. We'll take a moment to answer a few questions before we roll up our sleeves and get to work.
A few on-topic questions. Janaki?
Hi, Mr. Mayor. I had a question about the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal. Did you have to open the relief center there because the federal government either turned down or didn't respond to requests to use federal land to house migrants? And which federal locations have you asked about using?
We are still looking for spaces. There are several spaces, and we don't want to disclose all the spaces, but we are in conversations with the federal government to utilize federally controlled spaces in the New York State area that we can continue to build out. We don't know what's going to happen if the Supreme Court temporary ruling changes. We could potentially see twice the number of migrant and asylum seekers that are going to enter our country, and we must be prepared. I have to be prepared of what's going on now and what could happen in the future. And it has always been part of our plan to look at those locations that are under city and state control. The cruise terminal is under state control, the Port Authority. We're coordinating with them, and we're going to use this space. It is going to be a well-heated space. There's some calls that there will be tents inside. That is just not true. It's going to be a heated, well-run space. We have been successful in doing so thus far, and we're going to continue that success.
Good afternoon, Mayor. When you were in D.C. last week, did you meet directly with anybody from the federal government to discuss these issues and your request? What's your discussions been like with them?
Yes, we met with a member of the White House in a closed-door meeting with other mayors, because other mayors are impacted. Brownsville, Texas is impacted. El Paso is impacted. Houston is impacted. Denver is impacted. And we engaged in a conversation with them. I believe that they understand the full reality that we are facing. And it is going to take a coordination by the federal government. The White House must have someone that is solely responsible for coordinating all of the cities that are involved directly, and even those cities that are not deep involved, so we can have a deep compression strategy. And we're going to continue those talks with them.
What has the volume of arrivals been like in the last few days or the last week? What is the pace of arrivals like at this time?
Even with the temporary order in place at the border, we are still seeing large numbers that are coming, not only through buses, but through airports and other means. In 1 week alone, we received over 3,000 asylum seekers, and in one day, over 800. And so we don't have the luxury of attempting to try to pontificate on this crisis. We have to be able to pivot, shift, and address the needs. Now, notice, here in this city, what I saw in El Paso, where a large number of people were sleeping on the streets, some families sleeping inside the airport. My delegation would tell you what you're seeing here is not like what's happening other places. You do not see families sleeping on the streets. Everyone who wanted a place to sleep, they have been accommodated, and we're going to continue to do that. But it is an awesome strain on the infrastructure of this city, and we're going to continue to do our moral and legal obligation in the process.
Awesome. That's all the time we have.